gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stimmed Out, the most caffeinated podcast on the internet. I'm Tim Thibodeau, joined by Nico Flores. It's just the two of us again today.
The dynamic duo is back, baby.
Joe is stuck in Pennsylvania. Andrew, I'm not sure what he's doing today, but we wanted to get another episode out for you guys since you liked all of the clips and spicy things that we talked about in the last episode. Before we go into that, because we got one thing to say, and we're just going to get it out of the way in the beginning. What are we drinking?
An elephant in the room.
What are we drinking today? A big elephant.
Big elephant in the room.
What are we drinking today, Nico?
Me and Tim are poor, one. So, as a pre-workout, I got a regular... What did I got last week? I got a chocolate cream cold brew with a double shot of espresso that I did not finish this morning. And I have a cup of Cafe Bustelo that Tim just made me. So, going to be wired after this.
If you know Nico, you'll know that he never finishes his coffee anyway. Like there was this one time, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago where you went to, what is it, Buzzmill Coffee?
Yeah, Buzzmill. No, it was Revival. It was a shitty coffee at Revival. Shout out Revival.
But he went to Revival Coffee for SPD Saturdays, and he gets back, puts the coffee in the fridge at the gym with all the Monsters and the Gatorade and all that stuff. I'm like, who the hell? It's like definitely Nico. It was like 7-8 still full, not even. He took one sip out of it.
Dude, it was fucking watered down. That's what I hate about iced coffee from like places that just put too much shit in it. I'm like, it's just watered down. It wasn't good, so I'm not going to finish it. But this, on the other hand, straight to the point, 2 shots of espresso. I'm going to be zooted after this. I'm excited.
Is it possible to ask for iced coffee without ice?
Well, that's just coffee then.
Well, no, because you know how some people will
That's just room temperature coffee then.
No, but like if you cool down the coffee and then they filter it without the ice and just put it into a cup, it's it's cold coffee.
That's just brew.
It's just brew.
It's just brew.
All right. So with all God damn it. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about the IPF situation because we got a little heat for that. I'm not going to lie. As men of the internet, whenever we make mistakes, we'll own up to it if there was a mistake that was in fact made. So, elephant in the room. Delaney had messaged us, pretty much right after we posted that clip, right after the episode aired, and he did want to clear some things up, which, again, I will gladly take the blame for, because we just off rip said everything in that last episode. We really didn't reach out to Delaney, Taylor, even though I don't think people are necessarily responsible to do that, because if you have a hot topic on the internet, people are just going to talk about it off rip. So that's what we did. We got some heat for it. It's totally fine. It's part of the game. But he messaged us and just asked us to clear up a few things, which I'll gladly do. So, Nico, do you want to go over that really quick?
Yeah, so basically 2 big things that we talked about in the last podcast that kind of need to be cleared up were the fact that he was permitted by the IPF to do that event. And one of the other mistakes that I said personally in the last podcast, I said that it was a meet or a competition. So I was wrong about that. It wasn't a meet or a competition. It was just an event.
Yeah, that's kind of the hard thing about doing like video. Well, actually, video is a little bit easier because you could go back, cut it, edit it, do whatever. But podcasts, you're just saying anything that comes. And you and I, I'm convinced. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD. I'm convinced I have it. I'm convinced you have it too.
Don't even. You know I have it. Come on.
but we just say we speak too quickly for our brain to process what was actually being said, which got us in trouble this time. And I'm totally fine with that. The only thing I will say though, very interesting, because right after we posted our clip, King of the Lifts posted something on their story about like a wish list for powerlifting in 2023, and Arian had brought up. Shout out Arian.
I know you're watching.
But he had said something along the lines of that he would like this rule changed, where if you're affiliated with the IPF, so in this case Powerlifting America, since we're in the United States, if you're affiliated with the IPF, that you should be permitted to go to non-WADA sanctioned events. I believe that's how he put it. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But he wants to get rid of that rule because it'll mean that athletes won't be penalized, coaches won't be penalized, referees won't be penalized, because that's another spicy thing. There are referees in Powerlifting America that still participate in USAPL. So if you're going to be doing this to the athletes, where if you go to a USAPL meet, because it's non-WADA sanctioned, that they get penalized for it, then the refs should get penalized for it too. That's really the biggest thing right now, is just transparency with the entire situation, because I even put this on my story. Angelo and Steve talked about it on Two White Lights, but This could have been any pair of athletes. It doesn't have to be Taylor or Delaney, which is why we said in the last episode that this is not a personal attack on Taylor or Delaney. You could have put Jesus in the situation. You could have put
Sean Jin in the situation.
You could have put Sean Jin in the situation.
Shout out Sean Jin. I got you, bro.
Shout out, Sean. We know you're watching. But you could have put Jesus and Sean Jin in the situation, and it would have been the same exact outcome. People would have been bothered by it. But, now that we have everything cleared up, hopefully, Delaney, Taylor, I would like to apologize. But I hope you understand that it was not a personal attack on you. It's just we have issues with the policies that were put out by the IPF, and that's it. It was a hot topic. We talked about it. Hopefully it's water under the bridge now. Hopefully it's a really big bridge. But this is what I mean that I genuinely have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth next. Pause.
Fuck, Tim. I was about to congratulate. I'm like, dude, you put that together really well, man. I'm proud of you. And then you just end it like that. I'm like, all right. Like, come on, man.
All right. But, we got that out of the way. All in all, I really believe, and I agree with Arian here, that the IPF should just get rid of that rule because it is an IPF rule. It is not a water rule. All right?
Yeah.
Gaston, if you're listening / watching, and we know you are.
We know you are.
Change the fucking rule.
Oh, man.
What's the next thing on the list, Nico?
Oh, man. What's next on the damn list? All right, so Tim wanted to talk about one topic specifically that he saw last night on TikTok. He texted me and Joe separately at
Hi, Joseph.
Hello, Joseph. We're live right now. We're cutting this part, though.
No, I'm not cutting this part.
Right,
this is raw and unfiltered.
Oh, God. Oh, we got Cabo Bob. Shout out Cabo Bob.
Bro, Cabo Bob's is the worst thing in exist. I genuinely don't understand how the two of you like Cabo Bob's.
I love, dude, the rice isn't even wet.
It's so moist.
The tortillas literally make up for the wetness of the rice. The tortillas are custom made, bro. God. Mexican made, bro. That's what Tim cuts it. All right, let's do this. Back into the next topic of the podcast. Tim texted me and Joe at 10 o'clock at night very ambitiously. He was like, okay, did you guys see that Jesse James West guy competed on TikTok? You need to make some more content about it, man. So fill me in. Pause.
Yeah, yell at me for it. No, so I don't know what prompted me to do this because I'm subscribed to a lot of channels on YouTube. And the more, I don't know if you could agree with this, Nico, but the more you become a creator, the less content you start to consume, at least in your own niche. So, like every morning, I'll listen to social media strategies on how to grow my own social media, how to grow social media for game day, which is something we're going to be talking about in this episode. But I, for some reason, went to my subscriptions on YouTube, and I saw a video from Greg Doucette that, Jesse James messed up his powerlifting meet prep. And I'm like, wait a second, Jesse James West. Like, first, I don't watch Jesse James. No offense to him, it's just not the type of content that I would consume. But I'm like, this guy's a fitness, like your typical fitness influencer, like Will Tennyson, not a bodybuilder.
I love Will Tennyson.
No, and the thing is, they're both very entertaining. Yeah. It's just not something that I would consume, know. So I watched. Hi, Miso. So I watched Greg Doucette's video, and I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. Like, Greg prepped him, and I watched the entirety of the video. I'm like, I need to talk about this because it's great that Jesse competed in a powerlifting meet because that just goes to show that powerlifting is, finally getting to the masses like we've wanted for years. Because you know how many subs that Jesse has on YouTube? 2 million, just over 2 million subs. And that I prepped for a powerlifting meet in 30 days, 750,000 views.
Holy shit.
750,000 views. That's 750,000 pairs of eyes. So it's 1.5 million.
All right,
1.5 million total eyes.
Point. Jesus.
I watched that video. I'm like, okay, it's great that powerlifting's getting out to the masses. I just don't think that the way that Greg prepped Jesse was good at all, which I'm going to be talking about in a YouTube video separately. But I just think that...
Good segue.
Sub to me on YouTube.
Yeah.
We need to plug our socials more.
Yeah, we'll just put it like every 5 seconds across the screen. Like right now, just wait 1 second before we move on. Do you actually watch like fitness content?
No, I don't watch.
Have you
fitness
ever though?
Oh yeah, like what?
No, like on like the way that most people like they just binge it and like watch it consistently. I'm like, I've never like since I started creating content, even like when I first met you, I have besides you and like Russ and like a few other of the bigger people,
Yeah.
I haven't really watched or sat down like and really consumed that much content over like what, like 6-7 years. I barely do that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
especially now, like, we have no time to do that. Like, how do people have time to like sit and watch these YouTube videos all the time?
I genuinely don't know. And this isn't like to, make our audience take offense to it or anything. It's just we're creators, not consumers.
Yeah, we're creating the content for you guys to consume.
But yeah, I never really got into binge watching anybody on YouTube, which is weird because I think I've talked to you about this before, but like I really don't have anybody that I look up to.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, you know how some of these kids, they're like, C-Bum's my hero. Max Tuning is my hero. So if I met them, I would fangirl so hard. Like, I never really had anybody that I would fangirl over. So that's probably why I never consumed anybody's content like that. Yeah.
Huh. Damn. Like, legit. I thought you would consume a little more content because you've been doing it for a lot of time. But like I said, I probably watched like one YouTube video. I watched like C-Bone for the first time and Will Tennyson for the first time, like when I started doing YouTube, and I was like, oh, these are guys good inspiration.
So the only things that I would binge watch are people's powerlifting preps.
Yeah.
Because I think I told you this, but people love to follow a story, and when there's a good story leading up to like a meet, it's like, damn, I really want to watch every single episode of this. Like we'll take Russ, for example, when he started getting big on YouTube and he started documenting all of his preps. Like, I would watch that because that's interesting. And, look at him today. Genuinely, like, top 5 powerlifters in the world, Natty, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on the stat. I'm tired of people quoting me on this. But yeah, I just never had the time to consume any content. The only time I would consume content is when I needed, I guess, creative inspiration.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I did like 2 weeks ago. I told you I was watching like C-Bum's documentary and I was like, damn, this is inspiring.
As much as I don't want to admit it, a lot of my content, at least the style of it, is because of people that I've watched in the fitness industry. So I would take snippets from like, Chelsea Lifts when she was still a thing. I would take snippets from Max, from Christian, from Mark Lobliner, from all these people during like the golden era of YouTube fitness, Matt Ogus, Chris Lovato. I would take inspiration from the way that they produce their videos and apply that to mine, and over time created my own style around it. But that's the only time I would consume content. Yeah. Back to what I was saying though,
that's crazy.
With Jesse James West. As much as people don't like it, this is what powerlifting needed to grow. And it's just funny because all these people that complain about, like, oh my God, like he let the clout get to his head. He let that get to his head. You, like, deep down, you wanted the sport of powerlifting to grow because the more of a population we attract to powerlifting, the more members we get, the more viewers we get, the more sponsorship money that we could get.
Then we go to the Olympics
for those higher level athletes. The Olympics. Oh, we're not doing that. No. I mean, though, if we did get into the Olympics, that would cause the sport to explode in popularity.
Yep.
But as much as people don't want to admit it, social media influencers are what powerlifting needs right now. So what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, like, are people saying that like they're giving hate for it or doing powerlifting?
So we'll take
what's the context?
We'll take Meg Squats for example, right?
Yeah.
Because she's retired from powerlifting as far as I know. But when she was still powerlifting, and obviously she's grown significantly since then. But she got a Special K sponsorship and a Target sponsorship.
Target sponsorship is huge.
And she got shit for it.
Damn, really?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how would you feel as a powerlifter if you open your inbox one day and you got a message from like Target corporate or whoever's doing marketing for Target? It's like, hey, we want to work with you. We want to pay you money because we want to promote some new style of like activewear clothing in Target. Would you be okay with this because of your powerlifting following? It's like, fuck yeah, I would take that. Are you kidding me?
Honestly, man, this kind of goes back to like, I think I had this conversation with you the other day. I was like, the more eyes that you get in general, it's just, you're gonna get hate for everything. Like, everything that you do is like legitimately you're gonna get hate for it.
Hate me or love me, you watched.
Yeah, seriously, like that's a scenario. I'm like, I didn't even expect people to be like feel that way towards Meg after that. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, that's successful. That's really successful, and she's still getting hate for that. That's crazy. Oh my God.
I think it's good, and I think I talked about this on our episode with Angelo. powerlifting needs more drama like this. I don't necessarily think it's going to cause the sport to grow or anything, but it sort of validates it as more of a sport, if that makes sense. Because think of like the NFL or the NBA. How many people genuinely hate someone on like the Jets, for example, for no good reason other than it's like the popular thing to hate somebody right now.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I think powerlifting needs more rivalries.
Which is another segue that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But to finish up this, I think that people need to be a little bit more accepting of the fact that, you see all these cringy trends on TikTok. You see, well, but like, you see Russ doing a trend on TikTok and he like gets shit for it. I just think it's completely unnecessary. Like, again, it's going to get, Russ is the face of powerlifting at this point for USAPL, right? The more eyes that Russ gets from like Gen Pop Fitness, and then they see him powerlifting, they see him squatting 750. It's like, shit, I want to get involved in that sport. So people just need to be a little bit more accepting of these, I guess, cringe videos that people do on TikTok, for example. They need to be more accepting that more people want to be, quote unquote, social media influencers. Granted, some people go about it the wrong way. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm a saint or anything, but some people go about it in the way of like, I just want a following for the sake of me wanting a following instead of like growing the sport or something, Just be more accepting of it. That's really all I have to say. Speaking of rivalries, though, this is kind of Nico kind of brought it up earlier. I was scrolling through my For You page the other day.
Oh, here we go. I love this story.
I was scrolling through my For You page the other day, and all of a sudden I came across this kid that was he was squatting.
How old is he?
I want to say like 14, 15 years old.
Jeez.
And it kind of blew up, like, relatively. So it got like 4 or 5,000 likes, something like that. But then whenever I see a post that, gets a good amount of traction, and I always take a look at the comments to like ratio, and there were like 200, 250 comments on this. Like, wait, what makes this so interesting? Because when I have a video that blows up to like, we'll say like, 15,000, 20,000 likes, I'll have like 50 comments,
Yeah, 250 comments. That video's going to blow up soon.
Yeah. But the main point I'm getting at is like it's all these people going back and forth in the comments, back and forth, back and forth. You suck, I suck, this sucks. And
suck what?
I was following this story. I was following this storyline in the comments, and this 14 or 15-year-old kid that was squatting, he had a rivalry with someone in the comments. So it was just like this shitpost comment thread in there. And I took a look at this other kid's profile, and yeah, they have like a genuine rivalry going on. And I'm like, this is more shit that powerlifting needs. Like, first it's younger, it's like a younger audience getting involved in the sport. Like, I was 21 or 20 or 21 when I did my first powerlifting meet. Nico, how old were you?
I was 19.
19. You've got kids that are 14, even 13 years old doing powerlifting now. Yeah. How fucking cool is
Dude, when I started powerlifting, if I started even like 2 years before than I did, I'm like, God damn, like that'd be like another 2 full years of training experience. Like these kids are gonna be insane when they're my age.
Oh yeah, shout out Joseph. He just turned 17 the other day. I started training him when he was 16.
When was your birthday?
Well, it was in August.
The other month. Okay.
Oh God.
But still, we met you when you were 16, right? You were coming to game day pulling like mid fours when you were 16 years old.
Yeah, I think when I met you, I might have been like 15, 16. I was already like mid fours, squatting 4, benching over 200.
Yeah, dude. Like I didn't pull 405 until I was 20.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing with Texas too, man. Like everyone in Texas starts lifting or powerlifting too, even in like early middle school, high school. Like it's crazy. When I was in high school, like they didn't even have lifting as like an option to do. Like you either do like a sport, you did music or did theater or something like that. Like there's no lifting, no gym or anything.
Yeah. So that was an option for my high school, but you just no. But the thing is, like, there was no structure to it. You went to the weight room and you could just like fuck around, and you there were people in there just sitting in the corner on their phone, not really doing jack shit. I would lift occasionally, but I really didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I lifted for practice, like in the off season with my teams, but it would be like my coach would teach me how to clean and jerk, but like my form was terrible, and like
for baseball.
Yeah, I had to clean.
Why do you need that for baseball?
I have no idea.
Like I see people doing power cleans for football and everything, and I get it because you want to put yourself in that like sports specific position, like a wide stance.
I have no idea. Like actually no. I did back squats. Like I'm pretty sure my first real squat was in wraps too.
Oh my God.
And that was really funny. So, but yeah, that was dude. If I started at 14, 15 years old instead of playing fucking Modern Warfare 1,
Oh my
like,
God.
can you imagine how much stronger I'd be right now? God.
Yeah, but going back to what I was saying. This is like these are just more things that powerlifting needs in general. Like, we'll take supportive parents for example, right? When and I can't speak for parents because I'm not a parent myself.
Not yet.
Don't say that, please. Don't manifest it. I can't even take care of myself. But you have these like supportive parents, and when they see that their kid is so passionate about something, they're going to push them to do that sport or whatever activity that they're doing even more. They're going to fund it. They're going to drive them out to all these events, all these competitions, all these meets. But I don't know. I just think it's awesome, dude. I really think it's awesome.
Yeah, and social media is helping it a lot more. Like you said before, like the fact that people on TikTok are going back and forth, like other 14-year-old, 15-year-olds that they follow or are getting followed by, like the algorithm's pushing it out. Like they're gonna be like, damn, I want to be like these kids. Like they're my age. How come they're stronger than me? How come I'm not?
And the thing is, it would annoy me so much sometimes because I would see these things like I'm the strongest 15-year-old on this app, and they unironically said things like that. And I'm like, I really can't get annoyed at that because if I was 15 years old and I was doing something cool like this, it's like, sure, yeah. I'm going to strut my shit. I'm going to say this for clout. Yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So I don't know. I just think it's really cool.
Let's shout this kid out. What's his username, Tim?
I didn't like the video. I just saw it and then scrolled past it.
See that guy? He's a dick.
I'm sorry. God. But I don't know. This is just really more of what powerlifting needs. And the more it continues to be like this, where you have these random like micro rivalries on social media, it's just going to be really cool.
I don't know. Like the way that everyone in the USAPL community is like invested in the Sean and Russ rivalry. Like imagine there was one like that in like
for teenagers,
dude. Every weight class, every division, bro. Could you imagine like the dynamic of like Bob and Ashton in like every weight class? Like that shit is like the Virginia Pro is so hype because like they're going back and forth in the same weight class. Like first of all, both of them aren't even supposed to be in that weight class because they're like 2 kilos over.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine like that type of dynamic at Raw Nats with every single weight class? Like that would make it so much more interesting.
Yeah. Now that being said, there already are a lot of strong teens in USAPL. We'll take Joe Bornstein for example, though he just turned 20. So not a teen anymore.
But that's still impressive, man. He's
but
crazy.
Still, when he was 19,
crazy.
like pulling all that weight,
he's pulling 750 at like 5 years old. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
guy's insane.
What I am curious of though is
what are you taking? Shout out Joe Bornstein. Love you, bro.
We know you're watching. But what I am curious of is the retention rate.
Yeah.
Because, I played baseball. You played baseball. Obviously, we can't do it anymore.
Until we make a YouTube video.
We make a YouTube video. It's like we turned into professional baseball players in 30 days.
we get drafted in 30 days. Oh, man.
Except it's drafted into the war.
I know.
But obviously we found something that we're very passionate about, and our minds aren't as impressionable at this point. So when we find something that we, genuinely are passionate about, chances are we're going to stay in that. You take someone that's like 14, 15 years old, are they truly going to stay in the sport?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the one thing too, it's like, when you're a beginner and you start lifting for the first time, you see these gains that you're getting, and like obviously as you get stronger, it slows down a lot.
Yeah.
This is excluding if you get any type of injury or anything like that too. Like it's a lot of like powerlifting is really mental. So like if you don't have that mental fortitude, that strength to persevere through like an injury, through the stagnation of your progress, like there's so many things that can happen in your powerlifting career. It's like it's also monotonous. Like there's so many things that can happen. Like if someone gets bored, they can just pick it up and leave. Like that's what there's like a high percentage of people that leave, like in the teens, right?
Is there a statistic for it?
I'm pretty sure there is a statistic of like people that like wean off after like a certain age.
I have no idea. I mean, at
Even
that point, we could put it as low as 20.
Sean and Ashton, like at the Virginia Pro, like they've been doing it longer than legitimately everyone there.
Yeah.
Like that, I know that was a fact. Like I think they said on the announcement, they said that Sean and Ashton have been doing like powerlifting and they've been competing for like over like a decade, and like everyone else has only been doing it for like say 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. I don't know. We'll see.
It'd be crazy. Like if people like that start at 14 years old continue to do it for like another 15 years and they're only 30, like could you imagine like the baseline of strength for the pro athletes by then?
Well, because the other thing, and I had a little bit of a brain fart. I had this thing and then I just dozed off for a second. But the only thing that these kids have to focus on right now is lifting and school.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Dude, when I was 19, you knew when I was 19, when I fucking was only lifting and going to school, like, I was so fucking, like, invested into lifting. I spent
Like
my entire
you're
life-
dialed in.
Yeah, I was so dialed.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
but then when and this isn't to say that it's going to happen to everybody, but when you reach adulthood, for lack of better words, when you have like a 9 to 5 job, if you choose to go that route, but when your responsibilities as a human start to increase, you really need to start to prioritize things. And some people, they take the route of, okay, powerlifting really doesn't mean that much to me, so I'm going to quote unquote retire from the sport. You know,
That's happened to me when they opened the gym. Like, that was the first time period since I started powerlifting where I didn't train.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, that was like where I wasn't on program or anything. Like, that was probably like my turning point as a powerlifter to see if I still wanted to do it or not, or like, do I quit? Like,
Yeah.
So that, like I said, like that time period, some people just can't get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it just comes down to learning how to prioritize things because,
Yep.
you know, you take someone that was, they were a college student taking 16, 18 credits per semester, graduated on time, but then they enter the real world, right? Oh shit, I got to sit at a desk from 9 to 5
Yep.
for 8 hours, and then I got to go train.
Yep.
But then they start to feel like shit. Their training isn't the same as it used to be because all they had to focus on was like eating, sleeping, lifting, maybe jerking off. I don't know. But that's all they had to focus on, and their training was fantastic. Their meets were fantastic. Then it's like, I got all these other things that I need to deal with now. I can't do it because I don't have that same feeling in training anymore where everything feels good. But all they need to realize is that you're going to adapt eventually. You know, take it from someone, and, you know, I could speak from personal experience because I've been working a corporate job pretty much my entire adult life, that you eventually get used to it. It's really not that big of a deal. But again, I'm not here to say that you should or shouldn't do something, but reconsider it. You know, just because you enter the quote unquote real world doesn't mean that you have to retire from powerlifting or really any activity that you do. Just learn to manage your time.
Yeah, dude, there was like an Arnold quote. I think you brought this up to me the other day, but he was like saying like, if you really like have it a priority in your life, you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, I think that one point when I was segueing to like, I would train at like 4:30 in the morning because like that was the only time that I could train. Like, obviously if the training circumstances aren't the best, it's not gonna feel strongest at 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you really care about it, you're still gonna get it done. You're gonna do it. Honestly, just maintain the discipline that you always had even before you started that corporate job, whatever you're doing. with your
Yeah.
life.
I mean, and not to put us on a pedestal or anything, but like take a look at what we're doing, and we're still like
Yeah.
progressing in our training. At least getting back to
Now,
baseline
put us on the
strength.
highest pedestal there is, man.
But we've got 50 different things going on, and at least I think our training is going well.
Tim, every time you come home from work, I literally ask you, Tim, are you working out? You say yes. I'm like, damn, you're crazy.
Yeah, like I went to the gym at like 8:30 last night because, and I was considering not going because here's exactly what happened. So I was driving home from work. It was like 5:20, 5:30, and I'm coming down 183. And you know, like when you're coming from the north, when you're coming from Domain, all you got to do is just, you know, take that right, and Smith Road's right there, and the gym is like right there. You
Yeah.
know. I drive past it. I'm like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Oh,
I missed
God.
my turn. You know, fuck it. I'm gonna go home.
Oh, God.
But then I'm just like laying down here on the couch, like researching some things that we're going to be doing with apparel soon.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek, teaser.
We actually have the worst case of ADHD.
That's why it's called Stimmed Out, dude.
Oh, my God.
But then like 8 o'clock, 8:30 rolls around. I'm like, okay, like I told Marcellus that I'm going to be following everything, my accessories, my compounds, my diet, which I have been good with this week. I've been really good
I'm
with my.
not giving you shit. I'm acknowledging you. You're pointing at me like I'm calling you out.
Just validate me.
Okay. Fine.
But yeah, I've got all these different things going on. I'm still getting it done. So prioritize your time. That's our number one tip of the day. Cheers.
I like that topic a lot. I love talking about that.
Yeah.
All right, what's next on the lay list? Excuse me, brah.
Oh God, not again.
You're excused. And I'm not your bra. Okay, next one I want to talk about with you. I think you brought this up earlier. Social media strategies, strats.
Do you want to talk about clout first?
Oh yeah, honestly, we kind of did like talking about like social media, like how, like for example, like that teenager kid.
Yeah.
Talked about being in a rivalry with that was a good topic. I think we can leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the strats going forward that we have in mind.
Yeah. So I want to preface this by saying that a lot of people, and I kind of brought this up before, especially in the powerlifting community, a lot of people want to now be what's deemed as a modern quote-unquote influencer.
What is the negative stigma behind influencer?
I like
personally for you.
I like to separate things between influencer and entertainer. You know,
okay.
What
do you call yourself then?
I call myself an influencer, even though I hate that fucking word.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because like I genuinely, and you know, I'm gonna toot my own horn here. I really don't give a shit. I genuinely care about getting a barbell into as many people's hands as possible. You know, I want to help grow the sport of powerlifting. I think I've been doing a decent job of that over the years, and I want to continue doing that. And if that means appeasing more to the gen pop of fitness, general population, for those of you that don't know what gen pop means, but people that are just going into the gym and lifting with really no goal in mind, I want to maybe convert them over to powerlifting. You know, and I try to formulate all of my content around that. So I will do a shoe review. I will do
you snorting creatine in your kitchen.
See, that'll talk about it in a little bit because that kind of falls into like the entertainer type of thing. but yeah, I try to make all of my content around getting people interested in the sport of powerlifting. So because of that, and I do have a platform, therefore I am influencing people to at least get interested in powerlifting, you know? Whereas you take someone that, you know, snorting creatine, for example, but all of their content is just surrounded by that, you know?
So it's the guy that says, I'm better.
But yeah, so yeah. And you know, nothing on Lord Trunks because he's probably not watching. Actually, we know you're watching.
We know you're watching it. Come on.
But you take someone like that where they provide really no value to people other than, you know, making them laugh. That's an entertainer. You're not an influencer.
So what would you classify someone like Max Taylor?
I would classify him as an influencer.
Yeah.
Because he's transformed the way that people view him. So I really don't.
He started as an entertainer and then
exactly okay. Because you know we were watching his videos the other day and it's like he's putting out just like this bare bones basic information that people have been spewing for the last ever since the internet was created. People have been spewing all this information the last 2 decades. You know,
it's like how to bulk. First of all, you got to eat a little bit more than what you're burning. I'm like, holy shit! What?
So during the bench press, my chest is really involved in it. Like, I'm like, that's why I can't consume content today because of shit like that. But because because he has that new audience that they might not necessarily go to the gym, but Max Taylor really inspired me to go to the gym. Oh, he's an influencer, you know?
Yeah.
So
all right, tomorrow's video, guys, on YouTube. What muscle group is used on the bench press?
But yeah, I just think there needs to be a distinct differentiation between an influencer and an entertainer because I guess I'm gonna be talking some shit, but
here we fucking go. Someone clip this.
I'm the one clipping it. But a lot of people in the powerlifting community specifically are just they attempt to be entertainers. I can't tell you how many things get sent to this one group chat that I'm a part of people that are just doing like the most ridiculous skits ever, and they don't want to provide any value to people, you know? It's like, don't forget about me, don't put hate on my name, don't do this, don't do that, I'm going to be the best athlete ever. It's like, what are you doing other than like taking a TikTok trend, putting your own little spin on it, and you're saying that you want to be an influencer? I hate that. Call me an old man, but I hate that shit so much.
Tim, no one knows how actually old you are.
Yeah, because I could be 40 or I could be 4.
No one knows, dude.
Nobody.
Every time I'm like, guess how old Tim is? They're like,
I always get between like 22 and 26.
Yep.
Which I'll take it.
He's
It's
actually
fine.
55.
Bro, if I look like this at 55, I'll take it.
Oh my god.
Look and act like this? That's crazy.
Act like this, yeah. If we're acting like this at 55, then we are fucked. Oh my god.
But I mean, what are your thoughts on everything? Because I've just been going on this old man rant for like the last 5 minutes.
Honestly, like I said before,
because gonna cut you off because you're doing more and more content like that, where you know you're taking these depressing sounds, and you
Dude,
know,
it's so funny. I told Joseph we're going someday next week. We're going to the downtown Austin at like 11 o'clock at night, filming as much B-roll of depressing streetlight camera footage, and then making motivational quotes.
but you're doing more and more content like that, but there's like a formula to this, you know, and we're going to go into that with social media strategy in a little bit. But there's a formula to it because that's the type of content that people want to consume. You know, not necessarily.
You know, it's not like I'm buying a fucking backdrop for like a studio room and using my iPhone. I'm using a freaking professional grade camera.
Yeah.
Using this, and I'm like filming content and like having a strategy to it.
Yeah.
Like if I was just sitting in a room with just like this, filming like an iPhone camera, like of course no one's gonna like that shit. It's gonna be like not influencing anyone.
Yeah.
But like if you use it the right way, then I think then it's a proper strat.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that's what gets people's attention right off the
Yeah.
bat. You know, then they go to your page, they see what you're about, and like you're still providing people value on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, a lot, especially lately. But you're actually providing people value. That's the whole thing. You put out some content that's going to grab people's attention, and then they click your page, they decide to follow you, and then you put out the informative content.
Yep.
You put out the content that's going to help at least one person, you know. So sorry, I had to cut you off there.
I completely forgot what I was gonna say, but I want to segue into the next part that I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
Like, I think I credit this to you because, like I told you before, when I first started watching content, I watched you, I watched Russ, I watched a few other people. I can't remember, like Matt Ogus or something, and like the way like I would watch you use like your Sony, like all these different types of cameras equipment that you had. I'm like, damn, like I really want to like learn how to do that, and I really think if you do want to become an influencer, if you do want to like be any kind of like you know noticeable on social media, investing in learning how to use a camera is probably one of the best skills you could have in general. I think honestly outside of that too, just in general knowing how to use one, it like has helped changed my life honestly.
Yeah. So we have this fight with Johnny sometimes, Johnny Candido, for those of you that don't know. But we have this fight with him every now and then. It's like, what's better, 60 frames a second or 24 frames a second?
Oh my God, I'm tagging Johnny in this clip. Please, like ever since Johnny said this to me, like I feel like you haven't watched How I Met Your Mother, but basically it's like when your glass breaks. When your glass breaks, it's like it's now you can't like unsee it. It's like it bothers, it's like a tick in your head and it keeps bothering every time you see it. So with this being said, like every time I see a reel, if it's handheld in like 60 frames per second, I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
But like Johnny stands by that 60 frames per second is like the best frame rate for any type of social media. I'm like, oh God, I don't know.
To be
It, like,
fair,
bothers me.
he's mastered his content.
Yeah, his freaking profile picture's HDR. What do you think?
Yeah.
Of course he better have it mastered.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like his stuff isn't handheld, you know, where like with 60 frames a
I
second,
told
it's
you
going to
this
look
though.
like
I
crap.
told you this the other day. I was like, Tim, I like 60 frames per second on a tripod. If it's
Yeah.
handheld, I cannot watch it.
Yeah.
Handheld and 60 frames just does not work that way. Like the way that Instagram like botches Instagram botches the camera quality, it's like I just feel like 60 looks so buttery.
This is another thing that Johnny and I were talking about the other day. David Wolfson got brought up.
Yeah.
Because
He makes good content on YouTube.
Oh, he makes amazing content. Shout out David. But him and Johnny and I were talking about this because Johnny talked to David about this, and David is convinced that Instagram doesn't compress your video because, to be fair, every time that Wilson puts up a video, it looks so crispy for no good reason. I just don't understand.
On
because
what frame rate?
I think I want to say that he.
Please don't say 30. Please don't say 30.
I actually want to say 30. I know it's not 24, but it's either 30 or 60. I haven't watched a 30 frame per second video in so long that I can't even tell the difference anymore. But all of his videos look so crispy, and then here we are like filming 4K 24.
And it looks like a potato filmed it, right? Like
yeah, it's like why is Instagram? And then you upload it to TikTok and it looks perfectly fine.
Exactly.
I don't know.
All right, let's do a social experiment. Let's do 30 tomorrow.
I am not.
Let's try it.
I am not doing
Let's
that.
try it. We haven't done it one time.
I've done 30 at the beginning of my YouTube career. Never doing it again.
I've actually never done 30 ever.
Well, it's because 24. I think it was called a Canon Vixia or a Sony Vixia, one of those camcorders, whatever Matt Ogus used when he first started. I don't know if you watch his old content, but he had like that at home camcorder with him. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this and use it. That's one thing that I always did. That I always followed, and you could call me like, oh, you're a copycat for this, but I always followed the equipment that people were using. So First, it was like the Canon or Sony Vixia. Then I upgraded to like a Canon T3i, and
I
then
had one of those
and then
still.
I got a Canon 70D.
Damn, you have Canon for that long?
Yeah, well, that's because Sony really didn't make
Yeah.
video things back then, and Canon, like everybody was using it, so I'm like, okay, because no one knew how to
Wait,
color.
so what was your first camera again?
It was a camcorder.
Camcorder, okay.
It was a camcorder.
And you use that for YouTube, or you just? Oh my.
Used it for
gosh.
YouTube. But then I got into DSLR, like the Canon T3i, Canon 70D, because no one knew what color grading or any of that stuff was
doesn't
back then.
exist
It's
yet.
like as long as it looks good, you put it up on YouTube, bam, there you go. We didn't have 4K back then. But then got Sony A6500, then a Sony A7 III, and now I'm using the Sony A7S III with the 24 to 70 Sigma lens,
I
shot in
think we're good
24
for a
frames per second
while.
at 200 shutter speed. It's really good.
We're gonna be using this for a while, right?
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
I have no reason to upgrade any of this stuff because
Until we get fuck you money.
until we get fuck you money, but my content already looks better than 99% of the people that put out content
Dude,
on the
this is
internet.
like this is the thing like that differentiates. Like I'm not trying to fucking suck our own dicks, but like
no, do it.
like like I think posting the high quality content that we do, even if it's just our training, like that's what differentiates us and like regular people that just post on their phones.
Yeah.
You know, like if we're able to like color grade stuff and make it more aesthetic to the eye and like bring out the blues and like the saturation and the contrast and all these videos, like that's what makes us a better content creator from someone that's just like sorting creatine every single video, you know?
Yeah. Back then, like, and when I say back then, golden era of like social media fitness, you could get away, and Chris Jones still does this today, but he already built up a following over the
Yeah,
years.
that's the thing. Built up a following.
That you could film with a toaster, you could film with a potato, as long as you're putting out entertaining content, people would follow
Dude,
you.
he is so funny.
Chris
He is
Jones?
so funny.
Yeah, but back to what we were saying before. Nico and I have this running joke of like $6,000 camera still looks like shit.
Dude, like
Every time we see someone like, we know you're filming with a Sony A7S III, but it looks like dog water, dude.
that was one thing that I told myself, like I wouldn't upgrade until I knew how to use the camera. Like I started with the point and shoot, like what was it, RX100 Mark V?
Yeah.
I used that for like a year and a half, and I did not upgrade to the A7 III until I knew how to edit in general. Like
Yeah.
I started with iMovie, went from iMovie to Final Cut, and I stayed in Final Cut until literally last week. So like I made sure that I knew what I was fucking doing on there, and then once I knew how to, I was comfortable. Like I didn't want to make other people like. I didn't want to have this nice ass camera and then like not use it to the best of its ability. I feel like now I don't even know how to do it yet, but like when I see something like that, when the ISO is like at 32,000, like I'm like, oh my god, the rolling shutter is just like making me blind.
Yeah.
I'm like that's the stuff that makes my butthole close, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh. That running joke needs to die soon.
Yeah, but that's the thing, it never will. So like when we actually have fuck you money and we upgrade to like the red cameras.
Dude, apparently the FX9 is better than the red camera.
Really?
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen a red camera in person was you remember Gamma Labs?
Yes, why?
So when I was with them and they flew me out to the Arnold,
You saw a red camera?
our videographer was using it.
Isn't it like $32,000?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure to rent it, it's like $5,000. Like
I'm gonna put a clip. I'm gonna put a clip up of the video because I'm sure
You have it still?
I'm pretty sure it's still on YouTube. I'm gonna try to find it, but the I think I need to go to the Gamma Labs YouTube channel. But they
Gamma Labs.
filmed this in 4K or 8K before 4K was like a thing. You know, everybody was uploading YouTube videos in 1080p.
Dude. What's your dream camera setup?
Oh, that's the thing. Like, I genuinely don't know because I'm already so happy with the A7S III.
I know, but that can't be the end be all. That cannot be. If
Oh,
you
no,
had
it's-
all the money in the world, what would you get?
I mean, you said the FX9 is good, right?
Yeah.
I would get the FX9 then.
The thing is, like, it's $11,000 for the body. And then, like,
Okay.
if you want a cinema lens, dude, those are like $20,000 for one cinema lens.
Okay, at that point, I would just invest.
But that's the stuff that you
someone
see
to
like
record me.
Marvel be filmed on, like shit like that.
Oh my god! Can you imagine like just when you upload vlogs, just like you have a whole crew follow you with like 2 FX9s and cinematic lenses and everything, and that's how your vlogs are shot.
Could you imagine, dude? That would be like the best content.
But that's the equivalent of what people. That's the exact equivalent of what people are doing today because they have this like, hey, dude, record the set for me, and then it's like the person that's holding the phone or shit. It's like,
Shout out Quinn, because every time I have Quinn hold my freaking camera, it's like Dude, pointed at me. I'm like, oh my God, how do you make a freaking camera this expensive look bad, dude? Come on.
I don't even know. Like, we just went on this like complete random. Basically, we like, if you're gonna have a cinematic camera, or like we'll say a 4K camera to keep things simple. If you're gonna have a 4K camera, know how to use it, or at least tell whoever's gonna be recording you how to use it, so your footage doesn't look like shit, and learn how to edit your stuff.
Isn't it frustrating to you? Like, say you have like a set, like a pretty important set, and like you trust someone to hold your camera and it just comes out like complete shit.
That's why I only have you or Joseph ever record my stuff.
You know, like what would you do if you only had your tripod, but like obviously like the tripod always isn't the best shot. Like, what would you do if like me or Joseph or like anyone else wasn't there?
I would still just use my tripod.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty about
What
post.
if you don't bring your tripod?
Oh, you know how I stress you out about where I leave my electronics?
Yeah.
Dude, you would not want to see.
Oh God.
Like, I saw Johnny the other day. I think he forgot to bring his tripod, and you know how big his camera is.
Yeah, dude, I saw it today. That thing was literally the size of like my phone to your desk right here.
He set it up on the floor to get this one shot for, I don't know if it was for Instagram or YouTube, but he set it up on the floor to get this one shot and just use like something like the size of your phone to elevate the lens a little bit so he would be in frame. But yeah, I'm one of those people where if I don't have my tripod, I will get the shot no matter what.
No,
I do not care.
I have never put my camera on the floor and I don't plan on it. Dude. That gives me anxiety. Gives me chest pain.
Okay. Let's segue into social media strategies for 2023.
Oh, wow. I mentioned that topic like 20 minutes ago.
I know. I think we were talking about it already, like how, you obviously want to upgrade the quality of your stuff, because today it's about like quality, production value, quantity, and the quality of information that you put out.
Yeah, so what?
And I want to preface this by saying we're not experts at all on this, because we're still
learning.
Yeah, we're still figuring it out. Me, I've been doing it going on a decade now. I'm still figuring it out. If anything, the way social media is today, I wish it was the way it was back then, because I love creating short form content. I love it. As much as I love making YouTube videos, just because that's what I'm accustomed to, short form content, you could just rapid fire that stuff so much.
You're right. Honestly, that's the thing. I was talking to Johnny today, because Johnny's been doing long form content for like, what, 11 years?
As long as I've been doing it, yeah.
Yeah, like transitioning from long to short form content, like it's a really big game changer. Like the fact that you really need to pay attention to the first like 4 or 5 seconds that someone's watching your video and make sure you grab their attention, or else they're not going to watch it. Like that's hard. That's so hard to do, especially if you're doing like teaching stuff, if you're trying to like get them to learn something. Like, how do you grab someone's attention in the first 3 seconds to make them watch the entire thing? Yeah.
Well, see, and that's where the conversion comes into play, because I guess we can talk about strategies a little bit right now. It's where you're putting the content so you can convert those people to watch your long form content.
Yeah.
So the strategy that I've noticed works for a lot of people, and I'm still trying to figure it out myself, is you want to put up as much short form content as possible and use that to pull people towards your long form content. So we'll take me, for example, right? I put up a review on the Tolos Archetype 1.0s yesterday.
Oh, this is bothering you so much.
Dude, it bothered me so much. It bothers me so goddamn much.
The other day, Tim came in from work and he was like, fuck, I spent so much time editing this YouTube video until 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning editing this YouTube. Let me tell the story for them, Tim.
Yeah.
Tim stayed up until 2 in the morning. He texted me and my girlfriend in a group chat. Guys, I stayed until 2 in the morning. I expect you guys to write a comment and leave a like for me, please. Thank you. And then like Tim comes back from work like the same day and he's like, why did my TikTok do 10 times better than my YouTube video that I spent 5 hours editing? That makes no sense. And like honestly, like like the way that the algorithm is pushed on TikTok, like it's so much faster for more people to see it so much faster, even though Tim has like a bigger, more substantial following on YouTube and for the longest time, Like, I swear to God, like, how many people on TikTok do you think are real people in your following?
I would say a good amount.
You think so?
Well,
like,
I would say like maybe 15 to 20% might be bot accounts, because I heard this on a podcast the other day, but the larger you get, the more bot accounts you're going to have.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in general, like, I think YouTube for, like, your following when you were watching, I remember you pulling, like, 750,000, like, all these fucking views, like, they're all, like, everyone's commenting on your videos. I'm like, dude, like, You're just so used to seeing that inflate on YouTube, like not seeing it like that.
It's so rough.
It's just the fact that he took a long time off of that too. Like that's the one thing about YouTube, dude. Like it's the consistency.
Yeah.
Like being consistent for like weeks on end. Like that's the one thing that's gonna keep that following to keep coming back to your videos. Like you used to upload like twice a week.
I'm getting back to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna do
what did
another.
you do when you were back home? Like, what was your strat back then?
Just whatever, because I did more vlogging back then, so
Yeah.
it was just more like day in the life type of stuff.
Would you agree that it's dying, or would you say that it's still?
No, because people want. I don't want to say. I don't think.
They care about you. See,
I don't think relatable is the right word, but they want. They want. What's another word for genuine?
Authentic.
Authentic. That's the
it
word
is.
I was looking for. Authentic.
Yep.
They want authenticity.
They want to know what you're doing specifically. In your day-to-day life, like what's going on with you. And I even like on Instagram, like Joseph brought this up to me the other day. He was like, "Why don't you and Tim post on your stories? Like people want to see what you're doing throughout the day." Like it's like stuff like that. Like people are really like the real subscribers, the real followers that care about you the most. They care about what you're doing every single time that like you're breathing.
So I'll answer that question really quickly. It's still hard for me because a lot of my following on Instagram, for example, it's our friends in USAPL and powerlifting in general. So it's like, do they give a shit about what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
Probably not. But I think I just need to peel back that layer and just accept the fact that like I've got other people that follow me that might, they might want to see what I'm doing at like 2:00 in the afternoon, even though I'm probably at work. But they might want to see what I'm doing. So, I'm easing my way into that a little bit. I've always been weird about like vlogging in public and doing anything. As long as I've been doing it, you see me, I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I could talk to a camera for days on end.
It's so much easier. I'm telling you. Like, remember when we went to Home Depot all the time? Like, it's so much easier when it's just you to me, like talking.
Yeah,
like stuff
because
like
everybody
that.
else is an NPC.
Yeah, literally everyone else is an NPC. But like when you're vlogging with like a tripod by yourself,
Dude,
like,
it sucks so much. It's so weird.
dude, even like me in my own apartment talking to a tripod is like 10 times harder than me talking to Joseph. Like since I've been with Joseph, like talking in front of a camera has been like so much easier to get down.
Yeah, because and this is what I told everybody, because I've gotten a few questions like, oh, how do you become comfortable in front of a camera? It's like, just treat the lens like a person, But in your case,
Just
because
put underwear on the tripod.
but because you have someone behind the camera,
Yep.
it's like you're having a conversation with them,
Yep.
Where was I going with this?
I have no idea, but this is good so far.
Oh, you would ask me like what
over here.
I watched that happen. I didn't do anything to stop it.
God damn it.
But I'm gonna take a picture of that and put up a clip so
Nice.
everybody knows what we're talking about.
Nice.
Joseph, don't clean it up. Got it. But you would ask me like what styles of content I was doing. But yeah, it was just like vlogging and everything. But now I'm trying to diversify my content a little bit, which is another strategy that you need to do. Diversify my content a little bit in the sense of like people want some informative stuff, people want some authentic stuff, people want some training stuff, because at the end of the day, I am a fitness channel within the powerlifting niche, so a lot of my content needs to revolve around powerlifting, but sprinkle some authenticity into there.
Hell yeah.
But this is what I was saying before, is when I put up that one YouTube video of the Tolos review, I thought it was a fantastic video, probably one of the best videos that I've produced in a long time. Because
It was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
A lot of memes in it. But I thought that video was going to do super well, not for the sake of my organic audience on YouTube, but everywhere else. Because I created one short, one reel, one TikTok post from that video, and it did better literally everywhere else on these short form content platforms. Like TikTok got like 20,000 views.
Even the shorts did better, right?
The short got 2,000 views in 45 minutes.
Oh man, that's
What is the actual video stuck at? 800 views.
oh man.
But to your point, because I'm just getting back to YouTube, it's going to take me a long time to like regrow my audience. Because when I got back on TikTok, this is a good example. I was posting HD content, 4K content for about 2 weeks, nothing, like 600 views, 700 views, 300 views. Then all of a sudden, just takes off just because I was being consistent with it. Algorithm
You also posted
boost
a
a little
banger
bit.
TikTok.
I
that
did.
Set you off. So
But now like my videos are averaging like 15, 20,000 views again, which is where I was prior to taking this long break from TikTok.
Huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Pause.
But the strategy is you want to create these long form content videos, but create also a lot of short form content surrounding that. So this podcast, for example, we're probably going to get like 6 or 7 clips out of it, because we're going on an hour of recording. We're going to get like 6 or 7 clips out of it. That's 6 or 7 pieces of content that you could put up on multiple social media platforms. So we'll take,
Dude, it's so convenient.
so
dude.
we'll take like Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. That's 20. That's like 18 to like 25, 26 pieces of content that we have just from this one podcast.
Yeah, like filming in general, like people think that content creation it takes a lot more time than like you need to. But honestly, most of it is just like planning.
Yeah.
Like when me and Joseph film, for example, we have enough B-roll for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like we aren't filming every single day. We only film YouTube like every other day. But like the way that we're planning and scheduling things, like if you want to be a content creator, the strategy is to film as much as you can in like one time period and then spend as much time planning when you're going to post it.
Yeah.
Like that's what Bart told me actually. Bart taught me that. Like the way that he schedules things for Barber Brigade on their YouTube, it's like they film one thing and then like they're ending up posting it like 8 weeks from now.
Yeah.
It's like something like that. That time planning or like time period like framing is just so like well organized. Like that's why they've been so successful at doing what they do. Like that's like a good role model to look up to in terms of like structure and like content creation.
Yeah. So I heard this and I told this to you and Joseph and Quinn the other day, the whole Cinnabon analogy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it worked. It genuinely makes sense though.
Okay, tell everyone what the Cinnabon analogy is.
This is going to be a clip because it's going to resonate
Yes.
with a lot of people.
Yes.
So,
Where did you learn it from, by the way?
Think Media
I thought
Podcast.
you just made it up for a second. I was
No,
like,
I
say you
I-
made it up right now. Just take credit for it.
I'll take credit for it right now. Get sued. What are you going to do? Sue me?
Local man gets sued.
But so you know how they have like 4 different styles of Cinnabons
Yeah,
at
the
Cinnabon,
cream on the
right?
buns.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah, clip
So
that.
clip these. So think of YouTube videos as like your traditional Cinnabon, right? The one with like 800 calories in it. You have it, you feel like a piece of shit afterwards. That is your long form content.
Yep.
Then from there, you get to create the mini bonds from it, So take the YouTube video, create like 4 or 5 shorts or reels around it. Bam. That's 5 pieces of content that you generate from 1 piece of content. And then from there, there's like something else. There's like the center of the Cinnabon. It's not the mini bond, but it's not the Cinnabon. It's
That's
like
the
in
best
it's
part of
like
the
in middle.
Cinnabon.
Those are the short form videos that you create just for the sake of being short form videos. So like an organic TikTok video that you really wouldn't put on YouTube, for example, as a long form piece of content, So your 20 to 25 second videos, those are the center of the Cinnabon. So 10-minute videos, big Cinnabon. 10 to 15 second videos, center of the Cinnabon. The mini bonds, everything created from those 10-minute videos. That was a horrible way to put the analogy out, but there you have it.
I have a question. For any of the short form content that you have, is there a reason not to put them on every single platform?
No.
So you want to put on every single platform?
You want to put it on every single platform because as much as people want to say, I have the algorithm figured out, nobody ever has the
No one has
algorithm
the
figured
freaking
out.
Algorithm. No
I'm
one.
convinced quantity is king in today's scope, in today's like social media sphere.
Quality content.
Quality
Quality
content.
content.
Quantitative quality content. That was a mouthful.
Wow.
Pause. Qualitative content. Large quantities of quality content. That's what the strategy is for 2023. I'm convinced. Like, you need to post at 6 o'clock in the morning and then 6 o'clock at night. It's like, don't even listen to that anymore.
no.
If you have a piece of content, just put it out.
Just freaking post it.
The only thing I will say though is, and this is why I think it's very useful for everybody to learn some form of video editing content. If you put up something from, like, so let's say you put up a video on TikTok, and you download that video to your phone, to your camera roll, whatever, then you try to upload that to YouTube Shorts or Instagram, because you have that TikTok watermark in your video, you're not going to get pushed to the algorithm. That's the only thing that makes sense. But besides that,
There are apps,
Put
there
it
are
everywhere.
websites to take it away the watermark. That's the only thing, though.
well, that's a more recent development. But yeah, you are right
like,
about that.
The fact that you can do that is just like there's no reason for you not to.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you not to post on every single platform that you can. Like the more platforms that you on, the more eyes are gonna be on you. The more eyes that are on you, the more potential to get subscribers. The more potential to get subscribers, the more places you can funnel into. Like it's literally just like this giant rabbit hole of like places where things can funnel into. So like if you're not posting on every single platform, moral of the story, then you're not getting as most out of your content that you can.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
That's good.
I will say I think that everybody should start a YouTube channel.
Yep.
I think everybody should
I
start a
think
YouTube
more
channel.
powerlifters should go to YouTube because I was talking to Johnny today about this too. Like, besides like Brandon, besides like you, like David Wilson, who else is like on powerlifting?
Well, I mean, Max is like doing a meet soon, so I guess
That isn't Max's thing, though. You know.
that's
what I'm saying?
well. I guess I'm only saying that because he was like originally a power lifter when he first started his channel.
I'm talking about like still very competitive, like still like I want to see more like Sean. I want to see more Jamar. I want to see more Marcellus. I want to see people like the people that are big in the powerlifting community back into YouTube more. Prioritize that because honestly, like Instagram growth is like so like. Isn't it so frustrating sometimes? Like Instagram is just like the hardest platform to grow on.
So mine has been taking off recently because I've been getting bigger on TikTok.
Yep. See what I'm saying though? It's just like different platforms are helping to grow your Instagram.
Yeah.
Like Instagram growth alone, solely like depending on Instagram to grow yourself, like it isn't the best way. I wish I started YouTube sooner. Like I wish I took this a little bit more seriously sooner.
Yeah.
Like that was probably like one thing, like the segue into like the next section because time is ticking. 2022 reflection really quick. I think I could have did social media a lot better. Personally, I think I could have posted on YouTube a lot sooner than I did. I started like last month with Joseph and like did this well this fast. Like if I started this say January of last year, then fuck, like where could I be right now? So this is like the last time I'm gonna talk. I really want to take this content creation seriously, treat it like a full-time job, and hopefully by like this time next year it's gonna be a different story. So that's my goal for social media next year.
Nice, man.
Fucking hope I stick to it, man. Shit.
Nice. Well, the thing is, like, we're keeping each other way more accountable with it too.
Yeah.
Joe's got to get back on it.
Yeah, Joe's coming home.
Calling you out, buddy. You got to get back on social media. Where's that YouTube video? Haven't seen it, huh?
We know you're watching.
We know you're watching. We know you're listening. I don't know if you got this far, but you know what? I'm just gonna send you this clip. Where is it? Oh, God. But it's kind of the same thing for me because not to get like real or anything. I guess I'm gonna get real. 2022 was a fucking rough year for me, dude. Like honestly, like emotionally, financially, everything. Like my life went in 75 different directions in 2022. And honestly, I never want to go through that ever again. I told myself that this is like I'm not getting any younger, and I don't think that I've really had the time to be completely selfish to myself for the sake of me. You know, obviously, I want to see you grow, I want to see Joe grow, Game Day grow. Like I want to see like everybody in my circle win at the end of the day. But still, I'm gonna be selfish, and I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna be top dog. I want to be the one that's leading the pack in terms of social media, you know, because exactly. I was there at one point and I want to get back to there. I want to continue pushing it.
Exactly.
So I took.
If you can do that on top of your 9 to 5, on top of like competing and lifting every single day,
I've been doing it so far.
Like
I've been doing it so far.
Exactly.
You want to know why?
Why?
No women.
I wasn't expecting it. We were all so serious for a second. I'm like, fuck.
But I am serious about that though. Man. But
you heard here first. No bitches. I hate it here.
But we'll take TikTok for example. You know, before I got Joe on there, I had so much momentum.
Yep.
I had so much momentum on TikTok, and I stalled at like 160K, which is still cool because I've always had this weird like numerical goal of hitting 100,000 subs on YouTube because
you got a plaque.
I'll forever say that it's so much harder to hit 100,000 subs on YouTube than it is to hit 100,000 followers on Instagram or TikTok
on any platform.
If I were to put it in like a tier list, it's hardest on YouTube and easiest on TikTok. Anybody could blow up on TikTok. Instagram, like it's kind of like that redhead stepchild nobody wants. But I've always had this goal of hitting 100,000 subs on YouTube, and when
their platform gives you a plaque, dude. I don't know what to say.
That's gonna be our prop this year.
That's gonna be right there.
But when I hit 100,000 on TikTok, I'm like, you know, this is cool and everything, but like I want to hit 1 million. You know, I want to hit 500,000, and I could have been there. I could have been at 500K today, and I stopped for one reason or another.
Like, you know, this year, there's definitely you still have the momentum going for you right now. Like, legitimately, just needs to put the right puzzle pieces in the right order, and then eventually, like, if you keep doing it, get that 500K. That's huge.
Yeah,
that fucking
like 500K would be huge because like that could be like another 20,000 YouTube subs. Yep. You know, which is weird when you quantify that. It's like, oh, I got 500,000 followers on TikTok. I only got 10,000 subs out of it. You know,
that's the thing. Like, how do these people with like 500K TikTok, but like 1,000 Instagram followers.
I
how does that happen?
Well, that's the thing is because they're not repurposing their content and they're not telling people to go. There's no call to action.
Yeah.
You know.
My favorite part of the YouTube video.
But I really want to get back into it because one thing I could have done this year is like all these times that I was, down bad and I was going through a rough patch. It's not so much that I want to put my entire life out on social media, but people genuinely enjoy seeing that. Like all the times that I put up a video where I was just real with the audience, it's like, Tim, thank you so much for putting up this video. And I'm not even doing that for the sake of fishing views. Like I like creating content like that, but
that's it, Tim. We're going to a street light tomorrow night.
Had I done that for a lot of content this past year, and just stayed consistent with it, I would be in the company would be in a significantly different spot because, like I told Nico and Joe this, the more that we grow our socials, the more Game Day Social is going to grow as a result of that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the same way where I just need to stay consistent. I need to stay with as much as I hate it, like I'll stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning recording or editing a YouTube video. Like I need to do that just because that's the way my life is running right now. Like working full-time corporate job, running a business, making sure that my staff is good, trying to grow my own social media, trying to stay competitive with powerlifting, even though I'm not sure how competitive I am at this point. But just managing all these plates, it's hard, but people want to see that. So I just need to create all my content around it.
And then we do a bodybuilding show next year.
And then we blow up.
No, I'm serious. After Raw Nats, we do a little YouTube series. We shred, get fall shredding.
Fall shredding.
Autumn shredding.
Fall filleting.
That'd be some interesting content, man. Like I want to do something different after Nats next year. It'd be crazy if you do like something like that. Like that could be the end of the year goal. Like in Q4, we end up doing like a different project. Like we do like a weightlifting meet or some shit.
Please no, not again. I hate that sport.
Honestly, bodybuilding would be pretty fun. That'd be cool.
That's the really hard part though, because I don't know about you, but like, dude, I want my pro card.
Oh yeah.
I want my pro card in powerlifting because 0.01.
Yeah.
That number's going to plague me forever. For those of you that don't know the story behind this, and I guess we'll end it there because we're going on an hour and 10, and Nico has an appointment soon.
I'm getting a little haircut today, guys.
My last powerlifting meet
Trauma.
back in July of 2021, before we all moved down to Texas.
Induced trauma.
I was the strongest I ever was. The absolute strongest. I was on track to hit like a high 700 kilo total, like anywhere from like, we'll say like 760 to like 775, which is pretty good for 83 at the time.
Still pretty good.
I was on track to hit that, right? So by the end of the meet, like if you watch the YouTube video, you already know what happened.
And that's where you link the YouTube video right here.
And that's where I put up the YouTube video. Went 5 for 8, worst meet of my life execution-wise. And we were still going by IPF points or good lift points at that point. And you needed, before they introduced the Pro Series, they were like, okay, you need 100 points and you'll automatically be a pro, Nico, what were the points?
Like 99, like
99.99.
Yeah.
99.99. If we went 175, because I think I had another 2.5 kilos on bench, right?
Yeah.
If we went 175, I would have been a pro.
You got shafted.
I would have been a pro,
Yeah, like actually shafted.
It is what it is at this point. I don't know. If anything, like I think earning a pro card would be, it's a lot harder to do today, which I think just adds more value to it, even though like being a pro in powerlifting is still somewhat of a joke at this point.
Dude, please, Joe. Joe's ahead of the series. Please clean it up. Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's a meme at this point. But I just really would. I guess we could make that. We could make that another goal for like 23, 24. I want to get my pro card.
3. You know what's in our weight class? It's crazy.
I want to get my pro card, dude.
Oh man. Unless we do the Arnold the year after and win.
We just kick everybody's legs out and win.
Literally. And then I cut down to 67.5. I think it's a joke.
Please no.
All right, let's wrap it up.
So, this was a really good episode.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, we're on fire, Tim. Like, I honestly think the dynamic when we have podcasts, bro, it's crazy.
We are as cliche as this is. We are genuinely the dynamic duo when it comes to this podcast. Yeah, I'm convinced. Then when we get Joe in here, we're gonna have like 2.5 hour episodes. It's gonna be fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Stimmed Out, the most caffeinated podcast on the internet. Nico, where can everybody find you? Did you just have a brain fart?
Yeah, I did. I was like, what's my username?
I'm like, why did you draw a blank?
Wow. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at NicoFlores83kg. I really want to promote my YouTube this year, so if you could please follow me or subscribe to me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is at Nico Flores, and my TikTok is the same thing as my Instagram, Nico Flores 83kg. Thank you.
You can find me on all my socials at Tim Thibodeau. That's TIMTHEBODEAU. This has been Stimmed Out, the most caffeinated podcast on the internet in affiliation with iHeartRadio and the Obscure Celebrity Network.